What's going on, guys? My name's Coty, and a lot of you guys know by now I like to do these favorite bet videos before every card. And wanted to put this one out before these fights get started. Davison Figueiredo, Joseph Benavidez 2, aka Fight Island 2. A lot of you guys who have been watching these have noticed that I'm really into these parlays, but I do think this week is better for straight picks and maybe some prop plays. That's why there's only a couple fights on here that I'm really confident in. There's a lot of there's a lot of pick'ems on this card. I liked Spivak before these odds got crazy. Thought about jumping on it when it was like minus 120, but I just minus 170, minus 180, wherever book you're on. That's crazy. I can't take Sergey at that. I lean Arman over Ramos, but mine 2-1 favorite. That's a little much. I thought about adding that in there with the parlay, but the Armand, Davi Ramos, and Brett Johns Montel are two that I haven't played yet that I might end up playing. I thought about doing a little Montel by decision, and maybe sprinkle like a little something on Brett Johns by sub, but haven't made that play yet. But other than that, the plays that I have made definitely could not lay off Joe Duffy and Joe Alvarez as a 3-1, sometimes a 3.5 to 1 favorite, depending on what odds you're at. What I decided to do, if you look a little bit at some of these odds, is I just wanted to sprinkle a little bit. It was 22 to 1 odds for Joe Alvarez to get a finish in the late rounds. I saw Joe Duffy come in soft. He's been talking about he's been using that R word, that retirement word, for like a year now. He looked a little soft on the scales. He looked a little low energy. I mean, I don't buy into that too much, but I 22 to 1 to get finished in the last round against a young, hungry Lion when he's might have one foot out the door. I just have to bite on that. So I threw a little something on a second and third round, mostly a little tiny something on first round, and then a little something him by points. Not something I do a lot, but with the odds just being messed up, at least on my bookie, it was just better to spread it out that way, especially considering I think he's going to get a later. If he wins, I think Alvarez gets a late finish. Even though Duffy is hard to finish, I think this could be the time we see him get finished late. If he's not, especially maybe submitted or swept and maybe TKO'd on the ground. But, he could definitely win by points too. That's why I threw a little something there. Those odds are crazy. While if it was a straight pick'em, maybe I would take Duffy. But 3.5 to 1 odds. That's just I just cannot sleep on that. Then going right to the main event. I think Figueiredo finishes him again. I did a similar strategy here where I just sprinkled something on every round except the first round. Second, third, fourth, fifth. I almost just did third, fourth, fifth. But I do think there's a chance that he just goes out there and finishes him quick. I don't think he can finish Joe in the first round. Joe is typically hard to finish. It is Davison Figueiredo, who is a straight-up killer. But at the same time, even last time, I don't know if it would have been finished as quickly as it was if it wasn't for that headbutt. I think a lot of people are underestimating how important that headbutt was. Coming from someone who's betting Figueiredo, that headbutt happened and like a second later he was finished. He actually had his parry hand wiping the blood off his head as he got caught with that bomb. So it's not that I'm completely counting Joe out. I just feel like we've seen it before. I just feel like if Figueiredo wins, it's by finish. And if Joe can survive the big shots, if it goes to the end, if it gets to the decision, there's a decent shot that Joe can win, but I just feel like 7 times out of 10 Figueiredo finishes him. So I'm going Figueiredo by finish. Like I said, just spread it out over from 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty decent odds. So those are my 2 main plays. Other than that, I'm thinking here, if you take a look over to the right, I might throw, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do this. I might throw a little something on Grant Dawson, Figueiredo, and Arman for a little 3-reg parlay. I don't think this is the greatest week for parlays, but if I was going to do parlays, I like these 3. I feel like Davi Ramos, I mean, he's not going to throw the volume to win rounds. So if he doesn't land a bomb or happen to get Arman not only down but can pass his guard, I mean, Davi Ramos has crazy, like, world class jiu-jitsu, but his wrestling's not that great. And I just feel like he gets out volumed and out struck on the feet if he can't get him down. And so that's why I'm taking Arman. I've already said while I taken Davison Figueiredo, and then Grant Dawson. His wrestling is really underrated, and Wall Nad isn't the easiest person to take down. I just feel like Grant will eventually get him down, and most likely win a decision. I mean, Grant Dawson, the dude's like got that crazy cocky attitude. He's feeling himself, but you need that to be in the UFC, and that's why I feel like a lot of people are hating on him. But I mean, he's a good fighter, and I just feel like he's a pretty safe pick. I mean, as far as this card, where this card is just there is no safe picks. I think Grant Dawson is he's one of the more towards the top of the list of somebody I feel like I can somewhat count on to get a dub here. So figuring out exactly how I want to do this 3-leg parlay. But other than that, I mean, I might throw a little Hail Mary parlay like I like to do a lot of cards, but I don't think this is the card for 4 to 6 man or leg parlays. I just don't. I mean, Spivak, I'm taking him too. I was thinking about throwing Montel by decision. I think there is a chance he gets submitted by Brett Johns or just wrestled for 2 rounds, but I think Montel's crazy reach advantage. Not that I'm not even someone who looks crazy into reach advantage, but I do think in this fight, if it stays in the feet, Montel's just going to piece him up and stay on his horse. And I mean, if Brett Johns does that shit where he just kind of likes to tank up and absorb shots, and if you do that against Montel, I'm not even just saying this because he has that crazy highlight where he throws like a 30-punch combo. But not that aside, I really do think if Brett Johns gets in the habit of doing that, Montel's just going to open up. And he's not someone who has a crazy amount of power, but he throws those long, straight punches. And, I mean, I could see him piecing Brett Johns up if he can't get him to the ground. But it's a 2-to-1 odds for Montel. I'd rather probably take Montel by decision. Like I said, you could always sprinkle a little something on Brett Johns by sub, but because the odds are there, it was like 6-to-1, I believe. And I didn't touch this one at all, but I just feel like Kelvin Jack is a pick'em. I would slightly lean Jack. I thought about taking him, but I even thought about throwing a little something on him by sub, but not Kelvin's so hard to submit. But at the same time, I just feel like if Hermanson does get him down, he's live for a submission, but it's only 3 rounds. I feel like Kelvin toughs it out. I would lean Jack by decision, but hey, Kelvin's got those crazy, quick, powerful hands. If he catches Jack with something on the feet, he could easily sleep him. I mean, Kelvin's somebody who me and a lot of people have underestimated for a long time. He's just one of them dudes that he comes in as an underdog a lot of fights and ends up showing out. So can't count him out with those hands, but I would lean Jack. I just feel like this is a fight where we might see similar situation to that Chris Weidman fight with Kelvin, where he does have the sharper, like quicker hands, but that size advantage at middleweight for Kelvin. I still think he's a little bit of a bloated welterweight. Obviously, he went up to middleweight for a reason without being able to make weight at 170, but I still just think when it comes to these big middleweights, now Jack doesn't have the wrestling as that Chris has, but that size and grappling, it presents a lot of problems to Kelvin. So if Jack can get him down, like I said, he doesn't have Weidman's wrestling, but if he can get Kelvin down, it's probably not going to be too good. I just see that size and grappling advantage being a little bit too much. That being said, like I said, it's a tough card. I wouldn't recommend too many parlays. I'm all over like some of these dogs, and throw up a prop play if you're gonna use one of these favorites. But other than that, man, that's about it. Got another card next Saturday. I'm super excited for. We'll be right back with y'all. I'm gonna try to do some more of these videos, maybe some more of these, like a prediction video, a little bit earlier in the week, and then a last minute video like this showing all my final bets. Still working all that, new here. Been mostly doing all this on Twitch. So, but you know, enough of my Twitch fan brought me over, telling me start putting these on YouTube. So here I am. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you drop a sub below, and I'll see y'all Saturday at the very latest. Peace.